Hello, it's Wednesday again. I feel like I start my prep on Wednesdays. Monday, Tuesdays, I usually do a lot of admin, like catching up on emails and mood boards and that sort of thing. Anyways, we have a very full week this week. I have my order coming for flowers this evening. I'm gonna focus on prepping vases today, because I'll do it for probably morning and afternoon maybe. Anyways, we've got a wedding that I'm dropping off on Friday, and then a wedding on Saturday at Tigh-Na-Mara again. A little bit different than last week. We have some ground vases, which will be really nice, and just bride and groom. And then the other one that I'm dropping off on Friday is actually a wedding that's going to be on Gabriola Island. She has there's a couple of bigger arrangements, some table arrangements in small containers. We're also going to be gluing some flower frogs into ceramic vases, which I'm going to be doing in the next little bit. So those can set for design tomorrow. It's kind of like a deconstructed bud vase in a way. They're really pretty, and I really like the visual that they give, so we're going to be doing those. The Gabriola wedding also has some dog collars, so stay tuned for that, and a flower crown, which will be cute for the flower girl. But yeah, it's going to be a busy next couple days, so follow along with me as we work with some really pretty blooms. I'm excited about the color palettes this week. So I have these flower frogs right here. They're going to be super glued into my little pots here, and then we're just going to put a few stems in them for like a bud vase kind of look without it being a bud vase. I got these a little bit deeper because I am delivering them on Friday, so I just wanted to make sure that the stems are all in water. I have some shallower ones, but I think I really like the look of these. So we're gonna glue them and get them set so I can design with them tomorrow. So I have J-Weld epoxy glue, which I'm gonna be gluing the bud vase or the flower frogs to. I think I'm gonna remove the rings here and just have the middle. I did these for other vases that I had, and it worked really well, so I'm gonna do it again. Okay, so I have 6 of the bud vases. They're all glued in there and ready to be designed with tomorrow. So I have, actually both weddings are going to be using these. The one at Tigh-Na-Mara, we're going to be using these little vessels that are going to line the aisles. So we'll use these ones for Tigh-Na-Mara, and then I'm going to match, just because they're kind of an off-white, so they'll match a little bit better. Okay. I know it's controversial, and I really try to be sustainable when I can, but I will always pick the flowers looking good over being totally sustainable. So in the case of Fridays, I'm going to be delivering them to the bride on Friday. Her wedding's on Saturday, so I want to make sure that the flowers stay nice and hydrated and happy, so they look good on her wedding day. So I think I'm going to use foam for those vessels for sure, just because with these really low containers, they don't hold a lot of water. They spill out quite easily, and with the foam, at least I know like it's going to be hydrated. She can top it up with a little bit of water, but it's going to be hydrated. Even if they don't top it up with water, where I know I had a wedding in Kelowna where I had a bouquet in, I think it was the bridal bouquet actually. I think it was my friend Tash Daniels. Actually, I don't think Tash knows about this, so if you're watching, we had your bridal bouquet and it drank so much water because I didn't have a cooler. And my parents' house was a little bit warmer, I guess. And anyways, some of the flowers looked pretty poor in the morning, so we had to do a quick switcheroo to make sure everything looked really nice and fresh. So I don't want that happening because I won't be there to do the switcheroo. So yeah, that's the mechanics I'm going to use for these ones, I think. So I actually don't have to do any of them, but I'm going to get the vases out just so I have them ready to go. And yeah. This is called a billy ball, also known as crescipida. Crescipidi?
Nailed it.
A billy ball. We're processing flowers tonight. Flower order came in, everything looks amazing. These are ranunculus. I'm just taking off any of the like buds or leaves that don't need to be on there. Sometimes I keep the stems if they're can be used for like boutonnieres or in this case dog collars and stuff, but I think yeah, most of them will just go in the compost. Yeah. They're super pretty. Oh no. It's okay. It's gonna go in the dog collar anyways. Flowers are processed and done. We are all ready for design day tomorrow. It's currently, I think, 11 o'clock at night, but everything's good to go, and my amazing mother-in-law came to help me once again, and my wonderful, wonderful husband helped as well. So without further ado, the very full and fragrant cooler full of pretty, pretty blooms. It's a really colorful weekend, so I'm really excited to design the flowers for Friday and Saturday. Also, this is a new variety of spray rose. I think it's called Alea. It's so beautiful. It's like little garden roses. Anyways, stay tuned. We'll see you tomorrow. All right. Hello, everybody. It is the next day. I'm going to be designing today. So I think I'm gonna start with the bridal bouquet this morning and then maybe do the 4 little centerpieces. Hopefully I have enough time to do that before Bjorn wakes up from his nap. So let's get started organizing. I have my flower recipes like last week and like all the weeks for the foreseeable future. Yeah, let's get going and get some flowers organized and arranged. I'm gonna start with the bridal bouquet. I have a nest, just like last week. It's a little bit smaller because this is gonna be a bit of a smaller bouquet as per the bride's request. We have all the flowers. We have billy balls, delphinium, cornflowers, peonies, the Kensington gold, garden rose, some stock, nigella, ranunculus red and peach, some purple sweet peas, and some freesia, which is the bride's request is a sentimental, one of the first bouquets I guess she was given from her husband to be, had freesia in it. It's also actually a sentimental flower for me too, because it was my grandma's favorite flower and she passed away in November. So it always reminds me of her, which warms my heart a little, or a lot. I loved her. She was a very wise, gentle, and amazing lady. Anyways, let's get going. All right, now we're gonna wrap it. This bride didn't want a trailing ribbon, so I'm just gonna use a plain white ribbon, I think, to keep it clean. Oh wait, do this red. Oh shoot. I like to put the pins on the back, so then the bride knows how to hold the bouquet. Okay, that's right. Yes. There we go. Bridal done. Okay, so the bridal bouquet is done. I don't have a ton of time because I have to wake up Bjorn at 1, but I'm going to do the buckets for the arrangement so then I am just more time efficient for the next nap. Okay. So let's do this, and Mike's probably gonna speed it up for ya. The camera died, but we did the rest of the, you can't see it from here. I'll show you later when we're packing up the vases, but I'm gonna do the bud vases quick, and then all we have left today is the dog collars and the flower crown. So I've got ranunculus, clematis, delphiniums, billy balls, and that's it. So let's get cracking. Hi everybody, I forgot to turn on my microphone again, so sorry about that, but I am showing you that I'm doing dog collars. So I bought these dog collars from Canadian Tire, and then I'm going to use Oasis glue like I do for corsages and glue the flowers onto the dog collars, and then they just snap onto the dog. There's 3 dogs for this wedding, and yeah, let's get into it. Okay, we have ranunculus, spray roses, and straw flower for these. I think I'm also gonna put hellebores in. I tried to get puppy friendly flowers because obviously don't want to have any incidents where the dog eats the flower and is ill. Okay, so here they are, all done. I'm just gonna let them set for a little bit, and then I'm gonna put them into boxes and into the cooler. But cute little collars. I think they'll look really good on the dogs. Dog collars are done. I'm gonna move on to the Flower Girl flower crown. So I'm gonna measure out my twine, and then I'm gonna wrap it. I will show you how I do my flower crowns. And we're gonna use, similar to the dog collars, spray roses, straw flower, ranunculus. Yeah, I think I have some chamomile, but it might look poopy pants after a little bit. You know what, I'm gonna do it because it's dainty and cute. why not? And chamomile. What I like to do is make like little bouquets and then you fasten them to the flower crown, and then that's what makes it flower crown. So we're gonna be doing the big arrangements. It's currently Friday, and we're gonna deliver them at 1:15. So I have a few hours, well, I have an hour to do it, and then we have to pack up and drive to Gabriola Ferry. Colorful, similar to yesterday. I think they're going on a table at the ceremony and being moved to the reception, but yeah, we'll get going and watch me create. I have already prepped my vessels with these trays from the dollar store with some foam, and I'm going to top them up a little bit with water before I start designing, just so they're all hydrated. Finished the pillars, which I don't actually think they're going on pillars, but it's just easier to just design them. All right, now time to pack up the car. Okay, so we are at the Gabriola Ferry waiting for the father of the bride to pick up the flowers. We have a bunch of flowers in the back and this bridal bouquet. Yeah, the wedding's tomorrow, but the bride wanted to pick up the flowers today, so that's what we're doing. Hello again. So we dropped off, like you saw, the bouquets and everything. I'm gonna get started on wedding number 2. I'm gonna do the bridal bouquet and the boutonniere first, and then move on to the aisle and / table arrangements. Yeah, so let's get the bridal bouquets recipe in a bucket, and then we'll get to building. So this is the bouquet. Went with a blush ribbon, but yeah. Another pretty one. Loving the color palettes this year, gotta say. There's so much color and I'm here for it. So we're doing the groom's boutonniere. There's no wedding party for this wedding either, but I'm just gonna wire this ranunculus, and I don't know if I could really see it before, but I do this for boutonnieres. I think last week's video I kind of was not the most on camera with it. Anyways, go through the head of the flower till it pokes out on the other side, and then snip it, and there we go. Just makes the stem a lot stronger. Also nice because you can kind of bend the flower, and then it is like nice frontwards. Okay, now I just need to put a ribbon. Okay, I like to take a pin, I don't know if you can see that, and I stick it into the ribbon, and then flip Hopefully it stays. Okay, let's try that again. Okay, poke it into the ribbon. All right, there we go. And then take my scissors, snip. And then I take a little bit of extra material and I tie it a bow. And put the back on. There we go. There we go. There's the boutonniere. Good morning, everybody. It is Saturday morning and we are on our way to Tigh-Na-Mara to deliver the bridal bouquet and the groom's boutonniere. And it's a beautiful bluebird day. So yeah, we'll go and deliver these, and then later this afternoon we're gonna set up the gazebo area with the aisle markers. We're on our way back to Tigh-Na-Mara. Going to deliver the rest of the vase arrangements that are gonna go at the gazebo. We've got a cranky baby, but we're almost there, so we'll see you when we get there. Alright everybody, that's the end of today's video. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching the weddings that we had this week. The next couple weeks I don't have any weddings, so we're going to be doing some different videos, learning what's in my toolkit, what you would need if you wanted to be a florist, and my go-tos for when I'm at weddings, and some tutorials for if you want to do some of these things yourself. So tune in the next couple weeks, like and subscribe. Comment on this video, I'd love to hear from you, and we'll see you next week. Bye!